Welcome to the Steam Autumn Sale 2013. The sale goes from November 27th to December 3rd. Games featured in a daily or flash deal have an extra discount on them, so if you want to save money, only buy games that are in one of the two sales or wait until the very last day of the sale. Total War Rome 2 is a strategy game from the very well-known Total War series. This game had many problems on launch, and even if they have resolved some of them, I would still recommend to wait for a better price. This game is 50% off and has Steam trading cards. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist is a third-person stealth game. After the last few games strayed a bit from the genre, Blacklist is supposed to be back on track. If you are in desperate need of a stealth game and really like the Splinter Cell series, you might want to check it out. But with only 50% off, it's still a bit expensive. The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Enhanced Edition is a third-person RPG. This is an excellent game, and for 75% off you really should pick it up. The first one is also on sale, and for story reasons you might also want to buy it as well. The game also has Steam trading cards. Borderlands 2 is Dead Island, just without the focus on zombies. It's a first-person shooter with up to 4 players in co-op. The more players you are, the more bullet spongy the enemies become. The story is non-existing, the characters are annoying, the humor is bad, the menu is designed for consoles in mind, enemies respawn at the same place over and over again, the quests are simple fetch quests that will force you to run through the same areas over and over. The "we have so many guns" system is goddamn bad, because they all have their own unique stats that make it, next to their bad menu design, really annoying, if not impossible, to compare weapons. I don't know why you would want to play that game. It's 75% off and has Steam trading cards. Chivalry is a first-person melee fighter. This game can be a whole lot of fun, but be prepared to lose quite a bit in the beginning, because skill does matter. Also, you have to get used to how weapons work, because I lost so many fights simply because you will overestimate or underestimate the range of your or the enemy's weapons. The game is 75% off and has Steam trading cards. Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition is a third-person action game. The Arkham series is simply amazing. I can highly recommend to pick up Arkham City, but also the previous game Arkham Asylum. The game is 75% off and has Steam trading cards. Faust is an action RPG with puzzle elements that can be played with up to 4 players. If you and your buddies are searching for a Diablo-like game but with puzzle parts, you might want to check it out. It's 50% off and has Steam trading cards. Dear Esther 2 is a first-person walking simulator where you dodge some enemies in the first half of the game and listen to a story in the second half. This game actually costs money and is 50% off. Shadowrun Returns is a RPG set in the Shadowrun universe. The world looks really stylish, if somewhat strange. The combat system is turn-based and reminds a bit of games like XCOM Enemy Unknown. The game is roughly half a year old by now and is somewhat understandably still at only a 55% discount. The game is really solid, and if you like RPG and the cool setting, you might want to check it out. The game also features Steam trading cards. Max Payne 3 is a third-person shooter. For this game, they removed the gritty neo-noir style and the graphic novel panels and gave Max Payne a bald hat and a sweet Hawaii shirt. The game is also heavily scripted and removes the controls every few minutes to advance the story. This game isn't bad, but if you hoped for Max Payne 3 in the same style as the previous two, you will be horribly disappointed. If the previous sentences haven't scared you, you might want to check it out. It's 80% off and it's quite cheap. Serious Sam 3, Before First Encounter, is a first-person shooter. Because this game plays before Serious Sam 1 and 2, the game feels a whole lot more like a modern military shooter. You start with more real weapons, and some even have iron sights. Many get scared away by this, but the true Serious Sam experience comes up really fast, and you are shooting down the known enemies with the beloved weapons from the previous games. The game is 90% off and has Steam trading cards. Dead Space 2 is a third-person action horror game. Where the first game focused more on the horror side, this one highlights the action aspects a bit more. Many say that this decision, among others, made this game really good. The game might be 75% off, but it's still quite expensive. If you really like the first Dead Space game, or the genre itself, you can certainly pick it up. Call of Juarez Gunslinger is a first-person western shooter that was, unlike the previous games, surprisingly good. If you're searching for a western shooter that isn't too long and has really good gameplay, you should certainly buy this one. The game is 66% off and has Steam trading cards. That's it for day 4. I hope we see us again tomorrow.